Hey y'all, hey, what's up? It is tea time with your girl TG the LPC. That is right, it is Transformation Tuesday. I have to say, this is probably one of my favorite days because it is a day that we, if we allow ourselves, get to transform. Now, we get to transform every day, but it's just the topic is awesome and amazing to me. So, without further ado, we are going to talk about healing the inner child, a gentle starting point. Healing the inner child, a gentle starting point. So this is not going to be an in-depth type thing, right? I think that it's what you need, then you'll have to go a little deeper or seek services or things of that nature. But we're just going to give a gentle starting point. Um, so first, let me start by introducing the inner child, not just the buzzword of inner child, but as a part of us that still carries childhood experiences, unmet needs, and tender feelings, right? I want to reassure you that healing the inner child is not about blaming our parents or the past. It's not about, my parents are bad or this person is bad or my past was horrible, but about learning to nurture the past. I'm sorry, learning to nurture the parts of ourselves that still need care, right? So let's define the inner child. The inner child, we're going to define the inner child as the emotional, playful, vulnerable self that we all carry within, right? Childhood wounds often show up in adult life, show up as people pleasing, which we've talked about. They show up as perfectionism. They can show up as difficulty setting boundaries, fear of abandonment, or feeling not enough, right? I just want to normalize the idea that we all have areas where our inner child still needs healing. It might, again, it's not saying that there's a trauma. It's not saying that parents are bad. It's just saying that there's something that we may need to heal from. Now, okay, let me back up. Everybody may not have this, right? Because I don't believe there's any absolutes when we're talking about psychology, but I think it is more common than we think. A gentle sign that you may need inner child healing is that you're feeling triggered by situations that seem small to others, right? You're struggling with self compassion or negative self talk, or you're overreacting or shutting down emotionally in relationships. A deep longing for validation, safety, unconditional love. Sometimes when you feel these things, and I say sometimes because remember, it's not absolute science, but when you feel these things, there may have been a void or there may have been a perceived void. I want to say that because, for example, I may have felt abandoned. I use this example all the time in my sessions because, or I may struggle with abandonment issues. Then come to find out the reason that I'm struggling with abandonment issues is because mom was a single mom and she had to work. She had to make sure that she paid the bills, put food on the table, or dad, right? Mom or dad. And so they were always at work. And so I felt left alone. That can help me to struggle with abandonment issues. Now, that's a perceived abandonment because we now know as adults that that's what moms and dads have to do to make sure that kids are good to go. But as a child, I might not realize that. So either these are things that were not met or perceived. We perceived that they were not met. So let's talk a little bit about a gentle starting point. Awareness. Simply notice moments when you feel small, scared, overly defensive. That's usually your inner child speaking. I know that when I'm in a conversation and I immediately go to 1,000, I'm feeling threatened in some sort of way, right? I'm feeling challenged. I'm feeling whatever. And so I know that that's coming from things that I may have needed to heal from. Self compassion practices. Talk to yourself as you would a child, soft and patient. Okay, Tony, it's good. You got this. Breathe. It's not that serious, right? Um, now respond. So I can bring myself down by doing some deep breathing, by having some self talk, can do journal prompts. What did I need most as a child that I didn't get or receive? Or what makes me feel safe and cared for today? So maybe I needed family time. Maybe I needed love. Maybe I needed support. Right? So I could either create that support system I can go to a support group. There's different things that maybe I can do to help me be able to get whatever it is that I need, right? Um, so reparenting in small steps. Allow yourself to play, rest, enjoy without guilt. So anybody that knows me knows I am probably one of the biggest kids you'll ever meet, right? Me and my husband, which is probably why our children are so silly, but I love to have fun. I love to play. 9 times out of 10, I'm on joke time, right? I got a song for everything. I just burst out in a random dance. I just do some things that some people may think are childish, but I just believe that life is way too short, right? And it is way too serious for me to be serious all the time. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy it. And believe it or not, I love my life. It's so peaceful for me. Um, and we laugh almost all day long, right? And then create safe spaces. So maybe therapy, like I said, support groups, trusted friends who allow vulnerability without judgment. This word judgment, and I have a love-hate relationship with it because the reality is we all judge, right? But you want to be vulnerable without the fear of condemnation. You don't want to be condemned or talked about for whatever it is you feel. So people might be like, "What? You said what? Okay, give me a hug or whatever." But you don't want them to condemn you and make you feel less than for whatever it is that you think or feel. Let's talk about some practical everyday tools. And I know I'm going through this fast because this is not meant to be a therapy session, right? Well, create some sort of a comfort routine. Maybe it's tea, right? Tea time. Maybe it's music, journaling time. Now, I will challenge you with the music. Music affects us, whether we believe it or not. So, talked a few weeks back or days back about music that is healing for the soul. If I'm angry, or yes, if I'm angry and I'm playing an anger playlist, then it's probably going to make me more angry. If I'm sad and I'm playing these slow boohoo songs, I'm probably going to be boohooing. So be mindful of the music that you choose for comfort. Affirmation geared towards inner child healing. I'm safe now. My needs matter. And give myself permission to feel. That's a big one because in the era that I grew up in, know, the parents were saying, and they probably still saying this, but parents were saying, stop crying before I give you something to cry about. Hello, I'm crying. I want something to cry about, right? But they used to say that a lot, which would shut our feelings down. And we talk about that in our emotional intelligence class and things of that nature. But mental boundaries, recognize no as an act of self-protection and love. And no is a complete sentence. Like I say, no, that be it can explain or I cannot. You don't have to explain, right? No is a complete sentence. And then nurturing play, right? So we can dance, paint, color, anything creative or fun that is a hobby, something not something that we have to do, but something that we like to do or want to do. Okay. And so I want to just give you some encouragement. Healing the inner child is not a quick fix, right? It's a journey of self discovery and compassion. So, you being compassionate to yourself, right? Every small act of kindness towards yourself is a step towards healing. When you can say, I think it might have been, I don't even remember the day, but we talked about saying yes to self. And, yesterday we talked about showing up for yourself and things of that nature. So, every small act of kindness towards yourself is a step in healing. And you don't have to you don't have to go back to fix it, right? It's not like we're going to the past and gotta address these things with mom and dad. Because the reality is mom and dad may not have done anything wrong. Right? It's just how we perceive it, it's just how we took it on. And so we want to make sure that we are tackling those things. Um, you can create safety right here in the present, right? And healing begins with curiosity, not judgment. It begins with, is there something that I need to heal? Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes the answer is no. So I don't ever want anyone to think that I'm saying, you all need healing and y'all gotta go see a counselor and this, that, and the other. That's not what I'm saying. My goal is just to help us think so that we can transform, so that we can live full, productive lives the way God intended us to live them, right? So if you need therapy, there is no shame. Reach out. You can reach out to me. I'm not saying that I'm going to be your therapist, but I can help you out. I can give you some resources. Or if we don't know each other and we're a good fit and you're in the Virginia area, then maybe I can help you out. But I think that there's nothing wrong with therapy. There's nothing wrong with speaking to the aunties and the uncles. There's nothing wrong with having a trusted friend, right? That you can be vulnerable with, that you can have these conversations. Not that you're dumping on, but someone that can help you, right? Well, I want to challenge you guys today. What is one small, gentle thing that you can do this week to show love to the younger version of you? I'll repeat it. What is one small, gentle thing that you can do this week to show love to the younger version of you, right? When you can realize that you deserve love, and you deserve healing, and you deserve peace. I think that's when we begin to grow. Hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday. I'm about to go get this workout in so that my not only my mind could be good, but my body could be good as well. And I hope you do something today for you. I hope you show yourself compassion and love today. Have an amazing Tuesday. PG out.